This is Time Signatures with Jim Ervin, a podcast and radio program presented by the Capital Area Blues Society in Lansing, Michigan.
Driving up and down these Michigan roads, yeah.
And now, here he is, your host, Jim Ervin.
Baby, I'm home.
Well, hi there, everyone, and thank you, Parker. I'm Jim Ervin, and this is Time Signatures. Not long ago, we spoke with Stephen Salter of the Killer Blues Headstone Project, and he shared the fundraiser he has planned for April 18th over in Muskegon, Michigan. If you recall, he mentioned a young lady who is the daughter of the late Chicago bluesman Eddie Taylor. She is a talented singer, songwriter in her own right, and she is performing with the Mike Wheeler Band as the main headliner for this event. And if that's not enough, special guest Osamu Johnson and the Associates of the Blues will also be on hand, along with local musician Christopher Dragon. Sounds like a power-packed event, if you ask me, and it's going to be a great time. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome Chicago's Bad Girl of the Blues, winner of the 2022 Just Blues Foundation's Coco Taylor Lifetime Achievement Award and three-time 2023 BMA nominee, Delmark recording artist Demetria Taylor. Welcome to Time Signatures. How are you?
All right, I'm great. And yourself?
I'm wonderful. And you know, before we begin, I was asked by Kevin Johnson at Delmark to pass along his greetings to you, and he had nothing but glowing things to report about you as well.
Oh, I love Kevin Johnson.
He's a good guy, isn't he?
Very much he is.
Yeah. Demetria, I'm excited to see you in April over in Muskegon, truly. It's wonderful to see the women in blues get involved in these events. And Steve certainly does not shy away from inviting talented musicians, as evidenced by the inclusion of not only yourself, but also Detroit's Queen of the Blues, Thornetta Davis, last November for their last fundraiser. Now, before we talk about this event, for those familiar with Time Signatures, I need to get a little bit of the backstory on you if I can. How did your journey in music begin?
Well, my journey began through my parents. I grew up in a house of blues. Blues been in my household since the 40s, before I was born. And my dad, the late great Mr. Eddie Taylor Sr., he's the foundation. Him and my mom, the late great Miss Vera Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
They the foundation of the reason why me and my brothers and sisters, we all we cater to the blues so much, you know. So it started with my parents and my uncle Jimmy Barnes, and you know, we just a household full of number just blues. You couldn't help but to love the blues because my dad used to sit around and play the guitar. My mom used to sing before they go out and do shows, and I remember my dad having people come over like Floyd Jones and Charlie Patton and Willie Kent, Johnny B, Johnny Lee John, Sonny Land Slim, you know, so many greats.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Eddie Shaw, the late great Mr. Eddie Shaw. So, you know, it's just so many I can name, you know, and, you know, seeing him, you know, perform live at Antone's in Austin, Texas, overseas in Japan and other places, China. You know, when he passed away, you know, I was still into hip hop, you know, like breakdancing back in the 80s and all that good
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And then my mom used to play the blues so much, so I started, you know, being up under my mom a lot. When my father left, I started clinging to her more because I was a daddy's girl, you know. And so my mom played blues like Lightning Hopkins and Johnny Lee Hooker, and you know, my favorite song by Johnny Lee Hooker is I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood for love. I'm in the mood, baby. I'm in the mood for love. So that's one of my favorite songs. So it's like I started getting less interested in hip hop and other stuff, and I started clinging slowly to the blues. So then later on, my brothers and my mom, my uncle, Willie Barnes used to come over with my mom, and they used to rehearse and play music at her house. And then I started just getting on the drums, playing with them, and I started playing drums. So I started off as a drummer first. And my brother Timothy Taylor, he taught me a lot about the drumming. And so once I started playing drums, then my brother Eddie picked up the guitar, the late great Eddie Taylor Jr. And with Stephen Alton. He also got my brother a headstone when he passed away. So,
Yes.
yeah. So when he started playing music, I started playing drums with him. And then I just started getting into the blues more and more and more until one day I decided to just step off the drums. When my mom passed away in '99, just all of a sudden she just died, and we didn't know what had happened, why she passed away. And then I just got into it, and I just started playing, playing the music, And then my brother did an album for Wolf Records, like his third album, and he asked me to sing because I used to, go around the house humming Wayne Dang Doodle by Coco Taylor all the time.
Yeah.
And so I got on on my first recording was in 2002, and I did a Willie Dixon song, "Let Me Love You, Baby," but I did the Coco Taylor style. And
Okay.
then I started going out to the clubs, Blues on Halsey, where I got my start from, going to the jams up there, and the rest is history. I started singing and sitting around, going to all the jams, one in the basement of my house, you know, karaoke, singing different blues songs and practicing to myself every day before I knew it, I had a record. I had a whole list of, and then I got my first break at Blues on Halsted for they held a yearly blues anniversary in the summertime in the backyard barbecue, and Jennifer Littleton
Okay.
invited me to come and do a show there. And then that's how I got started. Then I got in the Blues Diva contest, and then I won. And then I lynched a deal with Delmont, like some few years, like years later. So
Okay.
that's where it started from, and it's been great, and it's in me, and I don't regret what I do. I love what I do. I'm excited about coming to Muskegon, Michigan, and do this show for
Yes.
Steven and everyone. I hope everybody come out and enjoy because it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fire, a lot of energy with the Mike Wheeler band, and we're gonna bring the house down. It's going to be great.
Indeed. Now, do you
Yes.
recall at what age you knew and realized that you were going to be pursuing a life in music?
I want to say I knew I wanted to pursue my life in music, but I didn't know what kind of music. I don't know if it was going to be hip hop or art or either
Okay.
blues. But when I turned 25, that's when I knew that I wanted to be a part of the blues music. I started playing drums. So
All right.
I was maybe like about 23, between 23 and 25.
So, as you were coming up, who were your biggest influences on your music?
Oh man, it's so many. BB King, Johnny Lee Hooker, Coco Taylor, Etta James, Tina Turner, Big Mama Thornton, um, Memphis Minnie,
Oh
Zora
yeah.
Young, Deetra Farr, Karen Carroll, Mary Lane. It's just so many I can go on to Chicago women's, and I love all my Chicago women's, but I love me some Deetra Farr. Everybody know I love me some Deetra Farr. So it's like so many women's. My mom, Vera Taylor, I can't leave her out, of course.
Right.
Um, but I was influenced by so many, and it was just something about Coco Taylor that caught my ear. I loved her music. Besides my mom and Chicago women's, I love the Coco Taylor. I just love listening to her music because my mom and my grandmother, which is Jimmy Burns' older sister, um, they played Coco Taylor so much. They play. My household. It's just like you learning the Bible because you listen to it so much. So I used to be running around the house. I knew the songs from backwards to forward. I knew my mama rock a list what she was finna play next. And I was a little girl. I felt like I didn't have no business knowing that type of stuff, but I learned it and it was in my head. And I used to always walk around singing Wayne Dang Doodle every day in the house, every day in the house. I used to sing, but I never thought I was going to be a blues singer until after my mama died and I got off
I
the
see.
drums. And I said, you know what? I'm going to carry her legacy on. But I
Right.
wind up
Right.
now I'm carrying the whole legacy on. I'm carrying my brother, Eddie, my daddy, Eddie Sr., my mom, Vera Taylor. My sister, Brenda Taylor, she sang too. But she sing, but she don't do as much. Do a lot. She's getting out here because she's doing a blues foundation for my dad. and she got her own stuff going on, so she do what she can. But I'm out there doing a whole lot. I'm pushing, keeping the legacy alive. We all doing it, but I'm keeping the legacy really alive.
Right on.
Yeah,
I was reading in your bio as you referenced earlier that your home was regularly visited by some true blues royalty of the day.
and
Carrie Bell, you mentioned
yep,
Sunnyland Slim, Tail
yep,
Dragger, Sam Lay, and
yep,
others.
yep, yep.
Do you have specific memories of these visits? And if so, did you have a full understanding of who these musicians were at that time in your life?
Yeah, I understood because I used to see them at the Delta Fish Market on Jackson and Kizzy. It used to be
Okay.
called the Fish Market, where they had live blues bands up there, and there used to be so many greats up there, like the ones you mentioned, Carrie Bell, my father Eddie Taylor,
Mm-hmm.
Willie Dixon used to come out and play sometime. Willie Kent, a lot of people used to come up there and sing. So all these folks, I knew all of them from seeing them when I was a little bitty girl,
Mm-hmm.
just standing back watching them perform on stage. And then when they used to come to my house, it was like a dream come true to me because, I used to see them, but I never saw them close up like how I saw them. So
Right.
it was a special moment. It was very, very special to see all these greats. You know, I just feel like I'm blessed because I got to see things a lot of artists, didn't get to grow up to see, and I did. That's why I'm so humble and I'm so happy.
Yeah.
And I really feel like for myself, I feel like I'm empathetic, and I feel like I'm not. It's not as hard for me as it is for some women because it's like it's natural for me. I do it, and I do it with all my heart. I try to spread the love to the other women whoever is influenced by me, and there's so many I know that I'm not gonna say names that they tell me, that I'm one of they influenced by me, and I'm just so happy and honored for that because I'm still young myself.
Right.
So it's like I'm young, but I have an old soul. I put it like that because I love singing. I love taking old blues and make it and turn it to my music. I do it Demetria Taylor's way, you know. So it was
Well,
an honor for me to see a lot of greats. I got to see all the women sing at Blue Chicago and Blues on Halston and Chicago Blues Festivals and
man.
Kingston Mines. When I wasn't old enough to be in there, I snuck in there, put on a little makeup and, slide in there with my sister and them back then. So it's just I'm just humble. I'm happy. God is good. He's great. I'm still here. I've got a lot of health issues back then, but I'm better now. Thank God I came back from it. I'm okay now. I'm back
Yes,
doing my
ma'am.
day job with my medical, and then I'm juggling working on my new album over here, and then I'm doing shows. Working on myself doing shows. Got festivals coming up, so I'm happy at this moment. I'm happy.
I'm really glad that you mentioned the Delta Fish Market because I would be
Yes.
remiss if I didn't ask you about that. You talked about having some great memories of visiting there, not just because of who you saw, but you had a
Nope.
lot of really great memories about your father being there as well, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yes, sir. Absolutely. A lot of great memories. I can close my eyes and just smile sometime and see my dad back then, and something that's really what pushed me to make me go even harder and do what I do because my dad just started from the Delta, and then he brought it to Chicago, and he
Yes.
never thought he was too big or too small. My dad would go to any club and play from the Chicago West Side clubs, from TJ's to Mary's to the Majestics to Domino's, to all these places, Roses, Blue Chicago, Blues on Halsted, all elsewhere. My daddy done my daddy was just well known. He was international. He was national international, and he would play wherever he can play. He wasn't.
Right.
My daddy was a good guy, humble guy.
Yeah. And how about John Primer, one of Chicago's foremost bluesmen? You've said that he has given you career and life advice along the way. Is it
Yeah.
safe to say that John has sort of been there as maybe a bit of a father figure for you since your father's passing?
Yeah, we do shows together. John be real busy, but when he can and we work together, we it's magic. It's magic for him on stage, and I'm so proud and so I'm just honored to know that just to know that I know him and grew up under him
Yeah.
and learn from him on stage. He taught me a lot of things on stage, and he never, thought I was too small or he was too big. He just took me up on his wing, and when I get on stage with him, it's magic. And I'm so happy that he's getting everything, that he deserved to get. I love John Primer. John Primer is one of my real mentors who I really love and respect to this day.
And he's a great guy, just all the way
Very
around,
much
isn't he?
here, all the way to 500%.
Yeah.
Yes. He, he,
Now,
he,
you credit your mother for your inspiration to sing after she passed. Talk about
yes.
that. How did that happen? How did that evolve after her passing? If you would share that, please.
Because my father, you got my brother Eddie, he self-taught himself. So he's Eddie Taylor Jr. So I
Right.
felt like my mom, she had a career as well, but she didn't pursue it as much as I'm doing me because she chose to stay home and get out the road with my father to raise us. So she didn't really go into it like deep like like we doing Bill. But I figure if she would have just went out there with my dad, she would be well known like my dad is. So that's what really made me sit down and thought about it. I say my mom, because she had just did an album with Wolf Records and she didn't get a chance to hear the album. She just had recorded and she passed away.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's what made me say, you know what, I'm gonna do this for you, mom. I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna sing and I'm gonna do this for my mom. I'm gonna do this for my dad, and all the loved ones we lost along the way, and all of my mentors, and it's just like my mind is just all over the place thinking about so many peoples and so much joy and so many things I have and inherit in the past with different peoples and different artists. And so many people taught me so much. And I'm blessed to have all the women to take me Chicago Women's. And I did my first album with them. I signed in 2010. I did the album in 2011. And there's so many people that took me up under their wing. And you don't have a lot of Chicago women can say that, but every Chicago woman back then was alive. They took me up under their wing. And I just thought about my mom, and that's what really made me keep going and pursue it. I had my mentors, but she was my whole lifeline. My mom was
Yeah.
my whole lifeline. I love all the Chicago women, the queen of the blues. I love them, but she was my lifeline because it was in me all the time. I was just scared to pursue it, but then I finally got out there and I done it. And I scared my own self. I'm not gonna lie to you because I didn't think I could sing like that, And it's like I practiced and I got better. And then when I heard myself on wax, as they said back in the day, on wax on a record, I'm like, "Ooh, that's me! Wow!"
Yeah.
And it just made me went hard even more. So my mom was everything to me. Like she was the backbone. She wrote a lot of my dad's songs. She went on the road with him. She, helped him out a lot. And, she took care of us and raised us well. She was a great cook, a great mom. We went to church, she cooked, she washed, she did everything for us. And that's why I always will do what I do in the honor of her and my father and my brother, you
Yes.
know.
Well, Demetria, you referenced Coco Taylor as one of your idols, and then you've also already mentioned your big sister, Deetra Farr, Big Time
Yes,
Sarah, and others
yes,
as women who inspired you. When you
yes.
got that call back in 2022 from the Just Blues Foundation informing you that you were to receive the Coco Taylor Lifetime Achievement Award, that must have really caught you off guard, yeah?
I was at work
Were you really?
and I stepped outside the building. I never forget. I was working on 95th and Cars on the south side at
Okay.
this place right across from Christ Hospital at the daily rehabilitation center called PROMOTIONAL Health and Rehabilitation Center. And I got a call from a source. I'm not gonna say the name. And they called me, and I went outside and talked to them. And they said, "Well, we called to inform you that we gonna honor you this year and give you the late queen of the blues, Coco Taylor, Lifetime Achievement Award. And I say, me? And I just couldn't believe it. And from that day on, I was just so. That's the first time I really won something big like that. And I got to attend the awards. I got to sit down at the dinner. I mean, I went to the BMAs and I was nominated, but I didn't win. But to sit there and eat and enjoy yourself and know you won,
Yeah, oh yeah.
that's magic.
Makes that dinner a little sweeter, doesn't it?
Yes, I had a ball the 3 days I was there, and I really enjoyed myself. I had to Dale, my family with me, and Julie and Abio came down with me, and we had a nice time. Yeah,
I'll tell you what, I love the Delmark family. Kevin
yeah.
Johnson is just salt of the earth, and Julia,
Hmm.
I think the world of them. They're wonderful people. I'm going to turn the page here because April 18th, you are going to be in Muskegon, Michigan, my home state, as headliner for the Killer Blues Headstone Project fundraiser. Now, this
Yes.
event is sponsored by Superior Monument and the West Michigan Blues Society, and it's being held at Fricano's, as we said, in Muskegon. Knowing what you do about Killer Blues and the benefit that it's brought to your family personally, what does it mean to you to be performing at this event?
It means everything to me because it's for a worthy cause, and it's for to help musicians, families that can't, afford to get their loved ones headstones. And
Right.
it's just an honor for me. I love to do. I mean, anything I can do to help my blues family and help the people that can't, bury their loved ones, and or get them a headstone. I would do it another 3 or 4 times if they want me to come back, because I'm just excited. And like I say, I love to help. I'm an artist, and I do what I do, but I'm a helper as well. I love to help and I love to give back.
Right.
So it means everything to me. That's why I expressed to you guys. I say I'm coming down, and it's gonna be a great show. I'm gonna celebrate. I'm gonna have fun. And
Yes,
it's gonna. I'm hoping it'll be a great turnout. And I'm looking forward to it, and I'm very much excited. Very excited.
indeed. And you're performing with the man you call the pastor of the blues, my good friend
Yeah.
Mike Wheeler and his band too. Those guys
Yes.
are fun, aren't they?
Yes, I call him the pastor of the blues. I put that in my interview. He's the pastor of the blues because he's sweet, he's humble.
He
I've
is.
been work
Yes.
I've been knowing Mike over 20 plus years. I was young girl when I met him. And he haven't changed. I mean, he be there for me through thick and thin, give me great advice. Brought me out to shyness when I was scared to cross over to do some type of some R&B and some Tina Turner and Etta James. It was in me, but I was just scared to do it. And Mike is just he's extraordinary. Him and Larry Williams, the whole band. I love them all, and I'm just excited to bring them down with me to celebrate with me because Mike is like my big brother. I love Mike like a
Hmm.
brother. Larry Williams. You know, all them fellas, I love them. So
Let
we're
me
gonna
interrupt you. Let me interrupt you
sure.
for a minute. For people that have not seen the Mike Wheeler band play, you got to come just to see them back her, okay? Because Larry Williams on bass, number one, he's always dressed to the nines. I've seen him twice. Number two, the man is shot out of a cannon, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
He just don't stop, man. He just don't stop. So, Demetria, I see that your last album was in 2022, and did I hear you reference you're working on a new album? Is that something?
Yeah, that's correct.
A little bit of breaking news there.
Yes. Hopefully it'll be out sometime 20 this year. I'm gonna
Okay,
working hard to get it out this year. Working on new songs, new material.
beautiful.
Um, some surprises. I'm having some special guests on there. Can't say who, but it's gonna be a great album. Working on it.
Well, I want you to remember when that time comes, as soon as you get a digital copy that you can send to me for an advance review, I'd
Yes,
love to check
sir.
it out. I'll have you come on, and then we'll hold the interview until the week that the album is released. How's that?
That sounds fantastic.
All right. Well, Demetria, let me give the information for this fundraiser one more time before we wrap up here. Tickets are on sale right this minute for the Spring 2026 Killer Blues Headstone Project fundraiser concert. It's slated for April 18th at Fricano's in Muskegon. Advanced general admission tickets are only $25. They go to 30 at the door. There is also a limited number of reserved tables left at $350 for 8, and a very limited number of meet and greet tickets for only $50. Now, this gives you a chance to meet and chat not only with Demetria, but also Mike Wheeler and his bandmates, Osamu Johnson and the Associates of the Blues, and Christopher Dragone. And all of this is brought to you by Superior Monument and the West Michigan Blues Society for the benefit of the Killer Blues Headstone Project. What a great event. It's going to be fun, isn't it?
Yes, it's gonna be. It's gonna be great. I can feel it. It's gonna be great because we're gonna have a ball. I love to dance. I love to walk the audience. I love to pull people up to dance. You never know if you there, you might get called up to sing. You never know.
I'll be running around with a camera. You'll see me. I'll be there.
You just never know. I might put the tell you to sing Sweet Home Chicago or Mojo or you
Oh,
just
man.
never know. You just never know, but I'm a crowd pleaser. I love to get out on the floor and just have a great time. It's nothing shady about Demetria and Mike Wheeler band. We all about fun and touching hearts and leaving a impact, and so we can let our audience study, grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And like I said,
Indeed.
I'm gonna say this again. It's an honor for me and Mike Wheeler Band to come to support this Headstone project. And I really hope you guys come out because it's a worthy cause, and we're gonna give you guys a great show. And I love to see y'all beautiful faces in the place, and I give you autographs. Mike probably gonna have vinyls. I'm gonna have CDs, and we're gonna have a great time. A great
Well,
time.
I'm planning on buying at least one CD from you because I've got a spot here on the wall. And what I like to do occasionally is I'll do a theme. And I've
Mhm.
got, I think, 7 or 8 different Chicago autographs. I've got Coco Taylor. I've got Toronzo Cannon, who's sitting right over here. Of course, I got Buddy Guy. Um, I got a bunch. I got a bunch from Chicago, and I would love to add yours to that stack.
Oh,
But
no
Demetria,
problem.
where can we send people to learn more about you, maybe buy some music and merch, or book you for a gig?
You can go to demetriablues.com, demetriataylor.blues.com. Um, and they can hit me up on Instagram. They can hit me up on Facebook Messenger.
Okay.
But I do have my own website, demetriataylor.blues.com. Jacob Shows, brother Jacob Shows. He's my rep. He's the one that represent me. And, he helped me get gigs, and he take care of a lot of my business for me. So shout out to Jacob Shows. I love that young man.
All right.
And
Well,
if they want to see more of the Mike Wheeler and Demetria Taylor, they can also go check us out on YouTube, Chicago Blues Fest 2022.
yeah, man.
Mhm.
Good stuff. Definitely.
Yeah. Hmm.
All I can tell you, if you're listening, if you're under the sound of our voice right now, or you're watching this program, get your tickets now. This is going to sell out. I'm going to make the statement here. I believe it with all my heart. The first one we did back in November sold out very, very quickly. This is a little larger venue, so it's taking a little longer, but I promise you that it is going to sell out. So get your tickets today, and that way you won't get locked out like some people were back in November.
Yes.
Demetria Taylor, it has been my pleasure to speak with you today. Thank you so much for joining me on Time
Thank
Signatures,
you.
and I will look forward to seeing you in less than 4 weeks, girl.
Yes, sir. And I have something special for you. I have a surprise for you as well. I have a gift
Oh,
for
you're
you.
so sweet. You're so sweet.
Yes, yes, I
All right.
will.
Well, let me wrap this up and I'll say goodbye to you properly here in just a moment. As this
Sure.
episode comes to a close, I want to tell you about, guess what? The Killer Blues Headstone Project. Stephen Salter started Killer Blues in 2008 with the goal of making sure that no blues musician lay in an unmarked grave. To date, Killer Blues Headstone Project has placed and purchased 178 tombstones or headstones in 17 states. But there's a lot more work to do. In fact, Stephen already has a list of several more headstones in need of funding and placement, and he needs your help to do it. So, whether it's $5, $50, $500, or more, every dollar raised goes to this worthwhile project. So please do me a favor. Consider making a tax-deductible donation today at killerblues.net and look for the donation link at the bottom of the page. And as always, thank you so much for your consideration. And that wraps up this edition of Time Signatures. Once again, my thanks to our guest, the lovely and talented Demetria Taylor, but also to you, for without you, none of this would be possible. Jim Ervin reminding you, keeping the blues alive is everyone's responsibility, but preserving the history of the blues, one story at a time, that's my mission. Until next time, so long, everybody.
This has been Time Signatures with Jim Ervin, presented by the Capital Area Blues Society in Lansing, Michigan. For more information on cabs, visit capitalareablues.org. You can find this episode and past episodes at lccconnect.org. The Time Signatures theme song, Michigan Roads, is used by permission and was written by Root Doctor, featuring Freddie Cunningham.
You know I'm trying, baby, driving up and down these Michigan roads, yeah.
Until next time, keep on keeping the blues alive.